Have you ever reached a point in life where you thought, if only I'd known this sooner? Maybe it's about your health, your relationships, or even the way you spend your time. For me, and for so many others, turning 60 was one of those moments. It wasn't just a number, it was a wake-up call. Suddenly, I started seeing things differently. I realized there were secrets to living a fulfilling, joyful life after 60 that no one had told me about earlier. And let me tell you, they've been game changers. Now, before you think, oh, I'm too old to make big changes, let me stop you right there. Age is not a barrier, it's an opportunity. The truth is, the years after 60 can be some of the most rewarding of your life if you approach them with the right mindset. In this video, we're going to explore 6 surprising truths that have the power to transform how you live, think, and feel after 60. These aren't just random tips, they're insights I wish someone had shared with me years ago. My hope is that by the end of this video, you'll feel inspired to embrace this stage of life with confidence and excitement. So, grab a cup of coffee or tea if that's your thing and let's dive in. Let's start with the first truth, because this one might challenge everything you thought you knew about aging. The first truth is this: aging doesn't mean slowing down, it means reinventing yourself. When I turned 60, I assumed my best days were behind me. I thought my energy levels would plummet, my opportunities would shrink, and my life would become more about maintenance than growth. Boy, was I wrong. What I didn't realize is that aging gives you something incredibly valuable: perspective. You've lived through decades of experiences, challenges, and triumphs, and all of that wisdom equips you to reinvent yourself in ways you never imagined. Think about it. Now is the time to explore passions you may have put on hold, try new hobbies, or even pivot to a completely different lifestyle. Have you always wanted to write a book? Start a small business? Travel the world? Why wait? People who thrive in their 60s and beyond often view this stage as a second act, a chance to focus on what truly makes them happy. For example, I know someone who retired from a corporate job at 62 and decided to teach yoga part-time. Not only did she rediscover her love for fitness, but she also found a renewed sense of purpose connecting with others. The key here is to let go of outdated beliefs about what should happen after 60. There's no rule book that says you have to slow down or fade into the background. Instead, ask yourself, what excites me? What brings me joy? What would I do if I weren't afraid of failing? Once you identify those answers, take one small step toward making them a reality. Whether it's signing up for a class, joining a club, or simply setting aside time each day to pursue your interests, every action counts. Now, let's move on to the second truth. Your social circle matters more than ever. This one hit me like a ton of bricks. As we age, our social networks naturally change. Friends move away, family members get busy, and sometimes we find ourselves feeling isolated. But here's the thing: loneliness isn't just an emotional issue, it's a health issue. Studies show that strong social connections are linked to better physical health, improved mental well-being, and even a longer lifespan. When I turned 60, I realized I needed to be intentional about nurturing my relationships. It wasn't enough to wait for people to reach out to me. I had to take the initiative. That meant calling old friends, inviting neighbors over for coffee, or joining groups where I could meet new people. One of the best decisions I made was signing up for a weekly walking group. Not only did it keep me active, but it also introduced me to a whole community of people who became close friends. Here's the takeaway: don't underestimate the power of human connection. If you're feeling disconnected, start small. Reach out to someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Volunteer for a cause you care about. Or try using technology to stay in touch with loved ones. Video calls, social media, and online forums make it easier than ever to connect, no matter the distance. Remember, meaningful relationships aren't just nice to have, they're essential for thriving in your golden years. Now that we've covered the importance of reinvention and staying socially connected, let's transition to our next truth. Because while these two factors play a huge role in shaping your life after 60, there's another secret that might surprise you, and it has the potential to completely shift your perspective. Stick around, because we're about to uncover the third truth you must know to make the most of this incredible stage of life. All right, let's pick up where we left off. So far, we've talked about the importance of reinventing yourself and nurturing strong social connections, two truths that highlight how much control you have over your happiness and fulfillment after 60. But now, let's dive into the third truth. Your mindset is your greatest asset, and it can be your biggest obstacle. This one might sound simple, but trust me, it's a game changer. When I turned 60, I noticed something interesting about the way people around me were approaching this stage of life. Some embraced it with enthusiasm, seeing it as an opportunity to grow, explore, and enjoy life in new ways. Others, however, seemed stuck in a mindset of limitation. They focused on what they'd lost instead of what they still had and could gain. Guess which group was happier and healthier? The answer won't surprise you, it was the optimists. Here's the science behind it. Research shows that maintaining a positive outlook has profound effects on both mental and physical health. People who approach aging with optimism tend to experience lower levels of stress, better cardiovascular health, and even stronger immune systems. On the flip side, negative thinking can lead to chronic stress, which accelerates aging and increases the risk of conditions like heart disease and depression. But here's the thing. Positivity isn't about ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about reframing how you see those challenges. For example, instead of thinking, "I'm too old to try something new," ask yourself, "What can I learn from this experience?" Instead of dwelling on what you've lost, whether it's mobility, energy, or opportunities, focus on what you still have: wisdom, resilience, and the freedom to prioritize what matters most. One exercise that helped me shift my mindset was practicing gratitude. Every morning, I started writing down 3 things I was thankful for. Some days it was big things, like spending time with my grandchildren. Other days it was small joys, like the smell of fresh coffee or a sunny afternoon. Over time, this practice rewired my brain to notice the good in every situation, no matter how small. And let me tell you, it made a world of difference. Now, let's move on to the fourth truth. Your body is capable of more than you think if you take care of it. When I reached my 60, I assumed that certain aches and pains were just inevitable parts of aging. I told myself, this is just how it is, I'll never feel as strong or energetic as I used to. But then, I met someone who completely changed my perspective. She was 72, ran marathons, and radiated vitality. Talking to her made me realize that so much of how we age depends on the choices we make every day. The truth is, your body is incredibly resilient, but it needs care and attention to stay strong and healthy as you age. That doesn't mean you have to run marathons unless that's your thing, but it does mean finding ways to stay active that work for you. Walking, swimming, yoga, gardening, these are all fantastic options that keep your muscles strong, your joints flexible, and your heart healthy. Movement also boosts your mood and energy levels, making it easier to tackle daily tasks and enjoy life to the fullest. Nutrition plays a huge role too. As we age, our bodies need different nutrients to function properly. Focus on eating whole, nutrient-dense foods that fuel your body and support overall health. Think colorful vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats, and plenty of fiber. Staying hydrated is equally important. Dehydration can sap your energy and lead to confusion or fatigue. And don't forget about sleep. Quality rest is essential for recovery, cognitive function, and emotional well-being. If you're struggling with sleep, try creating a calming bedtime routine, limiting screen time before bed, and keeping your bedroom cool and dark. Small changes can make a big difference. Now, we've covered mindset and taking care of your body, but there's another truth that plays a critical role in thriving after 60, and it's something many people overlook. Stick around, because we're about to uncover the fifth truth you must know to live your best life in this incredible stage. Let's talk about the fifth truth. Time is your greatest gift, spend it wisely. This one seems obvious, right? We all know time is precious. But when I turned 60, I realized I'd been wasting so much of it on things that didn't truly matter. Hours spent worrying about the past, stressing over minor inconveniences, or trying to please others left little room for what brought me joy. The reality is, the older we get, the more aware we become of how finite our time really is. And while that awareness can feel daunting, it's also empowering. It forces us to evaluate how we're spending our days and ask ourselves, am I living the life I want? Or am I letting fear, obligation, or inertia dictate my choices? One of the most liberating decisions I made in my 60s was learning to say no. Saying yes to everything leaves you stretched thin and exhausted. But saying no to commitments that drain you, relationships that don't serve you, or activities that don't bring you joy creates space for what truly matters. For instance, instead of attending every family gathering out of guilt, I started prioritizing the ones that meant the most to me. Instead of scrolling through social media aimlessly, I dedicated that time to reading, gardening, or calling a friend. Those small shifts added up to a life that felt richer and more intentional. Another key part of spending your time wisely is embracing moments of stillness. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to equate productivity with worth. But slowing down and simply being present can be transformative. Whether it's sipping tea on your porch, watching the sunset, or meditating for 5 minutes, these quiet moments remind you that life isn't just about doing, it's about experiencing. Now, let's transition to the sixth and final truth. Purpose doesn't retire when you do. This one is perhaps the most surprising and the most powerful. When I first retired, I thought I'd finally have all the time in the world to relax and enjoy myself. And while there were certainly perks to having more free time, I quickly realized something. Without a sense holds everything together. Stick around, because we're about to wrap things up with a few final thoughts. As we come to the end of this video, I want to leave you with a message that I hope will resonate deeply. The years after 60 are not the finish line, they're the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter filled with possibilities, growth, and joy if you choose to embrace it. Reflect on the 6 truths we've discussed today. Each one offers a roadmap for living your best life after 60. 1. Reinvent yourself. Aging is an opportunity to explore new passions and redefine who you are. 2. Nurture your social circle. Strong relationships are the foundation of happiness and health. 3. Cultivate a positive mindset. Your perspective shapes your reality. Choose optimism. 4. Take care of your body. Movement, nutrition, and rest are the keys to staying vibrant. 5. Spend your time wisely. Focus on what brings you joy and fulfillment, not obligations or distractions. 6. Find purpose. Meaningful goals and contributions keep you engaged and inspired. Which of these truths speaks to you the most? What's one step you can take today to start living by these principles? Maybe it's reaching out to an old friend, signing up for a class, or simply setting aside 10 minutes to reflect on what matters most to you. Whatever it is, write it down. Commit to it. And remember, progress doesn't have to happen overnight. Small, consistent actions lead to big results over time. I also want to remind you that it's okay to stumble along the way. Life after 60 isn't about perfection. It's about intention. It's about showing up for yourself, embracing change, and finding beauty in every stage of the journey. Finally, I want to thank you for joining me today. Sharing these truths isn't just about offering advice, it's about creating a conversation. So if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It means so much to me and helps others discover this content too. If you know someone who might benefit from hearing these insights, share this video with them. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing for more tips and stories designed to help you live your best life. Until next time, take care of yourself and remember, your best years are still ahead of you. You've got this.